So the hype is freaking real right now, okay? It's only a few days left till the Nintendo Switch drops and I can't think of anything else, alright? So I put together a top 10 list of what I think you should be most excited for about the Nintendo Switch. So let's talk about that. How's it going, cool people? I'm Gehab and welcome to another Nintendo Switch video. We're just gonna kick it off with number 10 straight away. So the first thing I want to talk about is people and developers are excited about the Switch. So what I mean about this is that we've never really gotten this amount of hype since pretty much the Wii. And we all know that that didn't really, like, it sold extremely well, but it sort of just ended up collecting dust for most people, at least most, gamers. As of right now, a lot of developers are praising the Switch and a lot of people are just super excited to get their hands on this console, and we haven't had anything like this happen for so long. It's being said that the Switch is very easy to develop for, which is absolutely great, and most people that have gotten their hands on it, including myself, have said very positive things about it. Obviously, since it's not out, we're yet to see if it's going to live up to this excitement, but I'm just glad to see that so many people are they're believing in Nintendo and they're going to go out and buy it, which is good. I think it's going to do very well for the console, and I'm just glad to see that people are actually excited about it. Let's just hope it lives up to the hype. So let's move on to number 9. Nintendo are potentially supporting a lot more games with DLC. So why this is so low is because it's not really clear how many games, and also we don't know what kind of DLC. But the thing is, this could turn out really well. I know a lot of people might not support DLC. I'm okay with it. The point I want to bring up here is look at The Witcher 3, for example. That game got DLC that only costs about $30-40, something like that, but it's absolutely massive. You get almost an entirely new game with just the DLC. Like, you get so many hours of extra quests, so many new areas and all that stuff to explore. And I'm thinking if Nintendo keeps like their general quality like they do with most of their games with DLC, it's gonna be good. I'm definitely fully supporting it as long as it's not day one cut content DLC or it's, just shitty stuff for a lot of money. We would absolutely not want to see that. That's why this is so low on the list. Okay, so number 8, we have potential Joy-Con / Switch variations or skins. So I've been seeing the Reddit community especially go crazy with this, and it's really cool to see. People are making a bunch of different Joy-Con variations and Switch variations and just like skins in general for it. And sort of like going with the 3DS, a bunch of different ways you can customize your Switch. I mean, it'd still be cool if they made, different variations of the Switch, like the blue and red one that we have currently. That'd be cool too, but I definitely love it if they made like wrap-on skins or something, or just ways you can customize it. I think it'd be definitely stupid not to go that line to create some sort of way to customize your Switch. So I'm definitely sure they're going to do something. At least third parties are definitely going to do something. So it's going to be cool to see how people do it, and just looking at the 3DS, I'm sure we're gonna see some sort of variation, so I'm definitely excited for that. So number 7, Nintendo are great at optimizing their games, okay? Like, if you look at the Wii U, that thing is like a bit more powerful than the Xbox 360, but you still got some pretty damn beautiful games out of that system. I know you can bring up the argument that most of their games are sort of cartoonish and stuff, and maybe realistic graphics won't work as well, but they're still pretty games to look at for most people at least. A good example is Super Mario 3D World, for example. That game is 720p, like that's just HD graphics. It's hard to even tell that, at least in my opinion. I have like a very keen eye for resolution and shit like that, so to me it looks amazing, especially to be on such an underpowered console. And then there's Wind Waker HD, which you could argue is a remaster, but it still looks beautiful on the system. But just looking at Zelda and Super Mario Odyssey, like, we have some strong contenders already. The Switch isn't as powerful as the PS4 or Xbox One, but I think Nintendo are still gonna make pretty games with it. So number 6, better lineup of first party games. So this has been confirmed by Nintendo themselves, and I think it's gonna make a big difference here, because the Wii U had, especially in 2015, 2016, it struggled a lot because they were literally like, at least the games that did come out, there were such huge spaces in between them. Looking at the Switch launch lineup, we sort of already have proof of this. For example, the remaster of Mario Kart 8 could definitely be in the launch window, but I think what Nintendo are doing, they're spreading the games out so we always have something to look forward to. And for this year, there's definitely stuff to be excited for. Let's just hope like it's even better for next year and the year after that. But I think Nintendo definitely learned their lesson with the Wii U, and it would be awesome to see, like, for example, 3DS developers move on to the Switch, because moving on from from the 3DS to the Switch, there's such a huge leap in like technology. They'd be able to expand their games so much, and it'd be so cool to see that. I can almost guarantee you that we're going to be getting a lot more games, and it's definitely something to be excited for. Moving on to number 5. So kind of talking about games in general here, we've gotten a lot of reports that the Switch is very easy to develop for. So this could potentially mean that a lot of PC games could be moving to the Switch, as in a lot of like indie games from the Switch. I know there's a lot of crap on Steam right now, so I mean, let's hope that doesn't get ported to the Switch. But we could see a lot of indie developers making, you know, good games actually just porting their games over to the Switch. Like Enter the Gungeon, for example. I know that game's like, it doesn't take much to run it, and it would probably, you know, run very well on the Switch. Binding of Isaac is already confirmed to be on the Switch as well, so I mean, it'd be really cool, in my opinion, to see PC games ported over to the Switch. And I know there was some Snake game, I can't remember the name right now, but it was ported to the Switch in just like a week, and it ran well and everything. So let's hope, you know, this keeps going. Let's hope more PC developers decide to just, you know, since it's probably going to be easy and cheap, they just port their games over to the Switch. And if the Switch does really well, you know, they're probably going to want to do that anyway. So I'm hoping we're going to get a big library of games on the Switch like as soon as possible. You know, PC developers just move on to the Switch, port your games there and make them run well. That'll mean that the Switch will have like a big library of games just by next year. Number 4. So Nintendo's definitely focusing on a broader audience with this console. And what I mean by that is that they're focusing more on the hardcore gamer, or just a gamer in general. Because with the Wii U and the Wii, we sort of saw this whole focus on family friendliness and, you know, just like party games and stuff like that. We still got some really good games on the Wii U, but it still felt like some sort of console that was meant for just home gaming and like gaming with your family and stuff. And while I'm sure there's people that do that, the market isn't big for that, and most gamers, they don't want that. But with the Switch, I feel like it's moving on to like a whole new area here. Like, we still have that family friendliness. You could do that, I guess, but it's more focused on just solo gameplay. And I think this is what attracts so many people to the Switch, because it's just a Nintendo console. You get all those awesome Nintendo games, but it's not, you don't need to hold this like big gamepad to play every single game, or you don't need to use motion controls. Like, you can just play them with a controller, and that's how most people like it. Number 3. So this is a pretty unique feature the Switch has going for it, which is on-the-go multiplayer. And while yes, this does also mean online multiplayer, as in if you connect to a Wi-Fi, so if you can just play multiplayer with your Switch online, but what I'm talking about here is local multiplayer on the go. I don't really think this is going to become like a huge thing and you're going to see everyone doing this. But whenever you're traveling with a friend or parent or whatever, if you're both feeling bored or if you both want to play a game, like, it's so easy to just flip the little stance thing with the Switch, share the Joy-Cons, and there you go. You're able to play local multiplayer on the go, which is something that's never been done before. I like to travel a lot. My girlfriend lives all the way in Australia, so, you know, whenever I bring her over here, if I'm going to have to take her on the plane, it's going to be fun. Like, we can just kill some time, play the Switch together. She doesn't even need to own it. We can, you know, play actual games together. This is just like a bonus feature to an already great console, and I'm just so excited and happy that it's actually there. Number 2. If you played Pokemon Go when it was at its peak, you knew that you could like meet people just out on the street playing Pokemon Go, and it was so easy to talk to them. You could chat with anyone just about the game. And what I'm hoping for with the Switch here, if it does really well and it becomes super popular, it'd be so cool just meeting people out on the street. Maybe you even find like a gang of people just sitting in a park or something playing with their Switch, and you could actually, you know, join them and play Mario Kart or something. Imagine how much fun that would be. The reason I'm not putting this on number 1 is because it's still, you know, it's not guaranteed that everyone's gonna bring out their Switch all the time and sit in groups and stuff like that. It's hard to get like a community going in every city, so it's not number 1, but it would be so cool to see people gather around playing games together. And I don't know, it's just a feature I'd absolutely love to see. So before we move on to number 1, I'm gonna go all watch mojo on you and give you some honorable mentions. So one of them is VR possibility. The reason why I put this in honorable mention is because I don't really think it's gonna happen, but it's possible somehow. If you think about it, it would sort of make sense, since the Joy-Cons have really good tracking. You know, they sort of just work as motion controllers, and then they could literally just sort of give you like a headset where you put the Switch in, and you know, that's how it works. Put the tablet on the headset and you got yourself like a wireless VR headset. Like, in theory, it sounds absolutely great. The reason why I don't really see it working is because the screen is only 720p, which is definitely gonna look pixelated when like put right in front of your eyes. I own the HTC Vive, and that thing has a way higher resolution than that, and you know, I can still see the pixels sort of. I also wanted to mention that if the console does like bomb, completely bomb, which I absolutely don't hope it does, but it would still make for a great secondary console. If Nintendo still keeps pumping out games, like, you can't argue that it brings something unique to the table that the PS4 or Xbox One don't. And last but not least, and the reason why I'm putting this on my honorable mention is because literally everyone talks about this point, and it's the fact that there's so many different ways to play with the Switch, as in you can hold the Joy-Cons just freely separately, you can hold them in the Joy-Con grip, you can, you know, play the console on the go or with the Pro Controller. So there's so many different ways to just play with the system. So it's going to be very exciting to try out the different ways of playing and how they feel and just finding the way that suits you best. Number 1. So my number 1 point is that you get like a full console experience with the Switch on the go. And I really mean this. I've played the Switch myself now, and I can confirm this. I played Mario Kart and Zelda on the go, like with the system in the handheld mode. You really don't feel like you compromise anything. The games do scale down a little bit graphics wise, as in resolution, but like, it's still, they have all the features a console game would, and it doesn't feel like you're missing anything. You get really good controls, you get comfortable controls, and fully fledged games on the go. This is the main selling point of the Switch, and this is what you should be excited for. It just hasn't been done in this caliber before, and I just so hope, since I mean, I don't have the Switch yet, I haven't fully gotten like days worth of playtime with it, so I can't say if it's fully gonna succeed, but I definitely believe that it's going to do so. It isn't a gimmick, it works with literally every game you develop for the Switch. Let's hope in the long run that it'll be just as good as like people are hyping it up to be right now. But overall, these were the 10 things I think you should be the most excited about for the Nintendo Switch. Thank you so much for watching this video. This was a lot of fun. I am, like I said, so pumped with this console. This is why I'm making these videos. But I try to keep like an open mind with this list. I try not to like fanboy too hard when making these videos. I like hyping people up, and I like hyping myself up. It's just nice to make people excited about stuff. But if you're still not sure if you want to buy the Switch or not, check out my review of the Switch right here. And then I have a bunch of other videos on the channel. You can go check them out. YouTube here apparently decides which video is the best for you. And subscribe if you're new as well. Thank you so much for watching. Have an awesome day, and I'll see you dudes in the next video. Peace.